Hello, everybody. I'm here with the second episode of my podcast, The Extra Mile. This is Shukru. Since I am not a native speaker of English, I was concerned that I might make errors in grammar and pronunciation during the recording of this podcast. To avoid this, I decided to use artificial intelligence to do the voicing. Employer brand management is what we'll be discussing today. As you are aware, today's business climate and way of life have undergone significant changes. The world had a production-based economy about 50 years ago. Today, it has a knowledge-based economy. It has transformed and increased the need for a qualified workforce. As a result, whereas in the past, during the era of the production economy, employers chose their employees, qualified workers have now begun to pick the employers with whom they would work. So things turned around. That naturally caused companies to restructure their human resources policies. These days, the methods used in human resources, hiring, and retaining personnel have started to mimic marketing research in some ways. As a result, the concept of employer brand management emerged. So what is employer brand management? As I just mentioned, corporations need to put themselves as a preference to meet their qualified workforce needs. All of the activities they do, creating employer brands and directing them potential employees through marketing channels, are called employer brand management. Employer brand management refers to all of the efforts of corporations in developing a brand and communicating to prospective employees through marketing channels. When we go to basic, there is a difference between corporate brand management and employer brand management. What we call corporate brand management is the public face of the institution. Customers and users of the company's goods and services are the target audience in corporate brand management. It describes the product or service's form, feel, and advantages. When it comes to employer brand management, the target audience is different. In this case, you target people who potentially work in our company, not those who use the product VE service. In other words, employer brand management is all about human resources processes. This is the bold difference between corporate brand management and employer brand management. Employer brand management has been described somewhat, but I also want to briefly outline what it is not and how it is not carried out. First of all, employer brand management is not a 100-meter sprint race. This is a marathon. Since we mostly work with IT companies, the need for a qualified workforce is very high. It is the same in Turkey, Europe, and the United States. As a result, employer brand management is on everyone's agenda in some way or another. But every time I check the requests, I find the following. We should implement Firm X's engaging design and recent job advertisement because we are also a fun company and should demonstrate as much as we can. It comes in the form of either copying what others are doing or purely superficial expectations over results. However, there is a serious mistake here. To put it another way, you have to finish some tasks before contacting a marketing agency. I will explain it later. This can include the tasks you've accomplished internally or with assistance from your current agency, such as creating amusing job postings, shooting creative videos, creating webinars, etc. Undoubtedly, it will be better if you decide on these beforehand. Requests like "let's renew our job ads now and here" are not both right and long-lasting. It won't provide results, in my opinion. Almost everyone knows why employer branding is essential, but I want to give a few highly interesting statistics. Companies with a stronger employer brand than their competitors can reduce their recruitment costs by 43% on average. Before applying for a job, 78% of people research the employer's reputation. 88% of millennials believe that it is vital to be part of the right company culture. 79% of job seekers use social media for their job search. Having a strong employer brand allows you to receive 50% more qualified job applications. All of these statistics demonstrate the significance of employer brand management. So, how is research on employer brand management conducted? First of all, every organization should have an employer value proposition. So, you need to offer a value proposition to your employees or potential employees. The employee brings their skills, know-how, and experiences to the organization, and what do you offer them in return? This should not be considered only as a salary or as fringe benefits. It must be handled as a full package. To put it more clearly, a qualified employee probably asks you the following question directly during the job application process, or asks himself inwardly. Why should I work for this company instead of another one? The answer to this question is directly referring to your value proposition. So, how can you create your employer value proposition? First of all, various factors make up this. As I previously mentioned, human resources approaches have changed over time. In the past, only salaries were discussed. In recent years, other topics plus salaries like fringe benefits and other perks have come up. Now, employees evaluate a job offer as a package. The most important one is still wages. The employees carefully commentate salaries, bonuses, share options that may be granted to them, increase rates, the pay equality, and the operation of the pay evaluation system. Another factor is fringe benefits. Employees are now considering the fringe benefits that you provide, such as private pension plans, health insurance coverage, the number of day offs, company-sponsored holidays, etc. I've been seeing a lot of candidates lately who are in the process of negotiating with employers over their days off. Because now it is important not only to earn money but also to be able to spend the money earned. That's why employees think about the number of days off. The next factor is career development opportunities. Employees consider the training programs offered by a company before joining. Does this company offer ways to advance? Can I work in different locations? Can I work in different departments? Does the company have partnerships with academic institutions such as master's and doctoral programs? Is a system for employee development evaluation and feedback in place? Employees consider all of this. Another factor is the working environment. Office design, location, accessibility, remote or hybrid working models, work-life balance, wellness, and autonomous working are all important factors. These are the criteria people are now looking for in a working environment. Yet another factor is company culture. Company values matter. No one works in a company to make the boss rich. Working for a for-profit company also makes no one happy or satisfied. That's why companies need to have various values. Some actions must be embraced if they are to help humanity. The workers thoroughly evaluate these as well. A further factor is diversity. People of different races, religions, and political views should be able to work in the same institution without facing prejudice. Another is company culture. The competencies of current employees matter. I will work in this company, but do my colleagues know the drill? Can I learn something from them? Will our collaboration be successful? These are also being considered. Socialization opportunities, cooperation, and team spirit. Of course, these are also the topics that make the employees happy. All of these indicate that employees do not solely evaluate a company according to benefits and compensation. Employees conclude by taking into account everything the organization offers as a whole. Before you start to create employer branding, the first thing you need to do is define your value proposition. There is no rule that all company employer value propositions will be the same. For example, one company has a very high salary policy, but a very limited day-off policy, or another company offers very comprehensive health insurance but not remote work. Analyze all this within your organization. What do we as a firm have to offer in relation to which of these, and how can we use all of these to create an employer value proposition? To do this, start with a situation assessment. I recommend that you conduct a survey with your current employees or former employees. You can write all the items I mentioned above and ask them to score out of 10. After analyzing your organization, of course, you also need to analyze your competitors. Your information about competitors will be somewhat constrained at this point because you are only familiar with the external processes of their organization. Again, as you can see, it is quite useful to analyze your competitors. Another situation assessment should focus on group analysis. You should try to find common ground among your top-performing employees. The top performers probably have some things in common. For example, they are very ambitious about promotion, and those who work remotely perform much better. In light of this knowledge, you can identify these commonalities and set your expectations for the employees you intend to hire. After assessing the current condition, you must now consider the ideal situation. How do we do this? I advise you to interview the company's managers face-to-face and through several surveys. What standards and goals do managers have for their employees? To get a clear and transparent explanation, ask them. Another task, workforce expectation analysis in the market. What does the workforce want in the market? You might want people that are highly passionate about their careers, but if the market's workforce does not share your expectations, then your expectations and the expectations of the workforce will not be aligned. By working with a marketing or market research firm to perform surveys, you can learn what the market's workforce values and, in turn, what your own employer values. You can shape your proposition. You will learn these after all this is done. What do you offer current and potential employees as a company? What do your top performing employees have in common? What do you want from employees? What does the workforce in the market want? After collecting and documenting all these, you need to start employer marketing activities. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense to get in touch with the marketing agencies and say, "We want to increase the number of applicants to our job postings." Okay, let's raise the number of applicants for jobs, but before, you must have conducted this internal research. Agencies do not have a magic wand. How can they do this? Create your employer value proposition as a company after conducting an internal analysis of your HR procedures, and then determine how you will communicate it to both current and potential employees through the agency. In this episode, I tried to explain the building blocks of employer branding. I plan to record more podcasts regarding employer branding in the following days. I think I've provided enough details to get things started. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. Thank you, and have a nice day.